Hello, and welcome to C-SPAN After Dark. I mean, Why You Should Care, the web series where we give modern politics a much-needed swat on the tush. My name is Alex Church, my parents are ashamed of me, and this is Why You Should Care About the Supreme Court. Just 8 days before the most important election in our country's history, aside from the current season of The Masked Singer, Republicans in the Senate voted to confirm President Trump's pick to fill the vacancy of Ruth Bader Ginsburg with middle school principal who sent you home for wearing spaghetti straps, Amy Coney Barrett. Her confirmation will cement a conservative majority that will have dramatic implications for decades to come. But first, what's so supreme about the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court is the highest point in the nation's least sexy branch of government, the judiciary. Any case can appeal its way to the Supreme Court, a murder case, tax evasion case, or the winning case in a game of Deal or No Deal. But while thousands appeal, the court hears less than 100 cases each year. Things like marriage equality, abortion access, gerrymandering, voting rights, civil rights, human rights, Coke versus Pepsi, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, the powers of the presidency, presidential elections, that corporations are people but immigrants, and whether or not you can burn a flag.
So, I'm sure you're wondering,
why should I care?
Because 1, the Supreme Court has a lot of power, and B, right now it's skewed more to the right than a reverse NASCAR track. For the last 3 decades, Senate Majority Leader and man in desperate need of facial Viagra, Mitch McConnell, has made it his mission to completely revamp the judiciary to be more welcoming to conservative values than a neo-Nazi rally on the moon. Because it's the whitest planet in the Milky Way. Trump, puppeted by McConnell like the bloated Weekend at Bernie's corpse he is, has nominated a shocking 220 judges to federal benches across the country, including 3 Supreme Court justices, almost 30% of the entire court system.
30%? That's higher than my IQ.
So how have Republicans been able to reshape the judiciary like Kim K tried to reshape pregnancy? By changing the rules.
In 2017, during the confirmation fight for future Supreme Court Justice and man afraid of his own erection, Neil Gorsuch, Republicans invoked what is known as the nuclear option, getting rid of the filibuster and all judicial nominations, and letting Paul Ryan finally become a real boy.
But McConnell has changed the rules even further, shortening the time senators can debate on judicial appointments, sometimes questioning multiple nominees at once, and reverting back to a Bush-era policy where judges didn't even have to be vetted by the American Bar Association before they were nominated. In short, he's cheating, like playing pin the tail on the donkey with a blind kid, or allowing Pete Buttigieg to become a real boy.
But that's not fair.
Shh. That'll do, pig. But you're right, it isn't. And it isn't going to stop. And now, a special treat. Meredith?
Thank you, Alex. Get a haircut. Today I'm sitting down and loving it with a very special guest. Here to talk about his judicial successes, please welcome Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Well, thank you, Meredith. It's an honor to be here, but we'll have to make this quick. I have a Fox News interview after this, and I'm going to need to reinflate my jowls.
Now, Senator McConnell, how do you feel following the confirmation of Justice Barrett?
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't been this happy since the day I killed Harry Potter's mother and made my 7th Horcrux. A solidly conservative Supreme Court has been my dream since I was a little boy, throwing boulders under the heads of unsuspecting villagers in the Kentucky foothills.
What do you say to those who believe you've played dirty to get what you want?
Playing dirty is the only way to play, aside from nude and erect. If Democrats aren't smart enough to outwit this twit, then I think they've got bigger fish to fry.
Speaking of Democrats, do you think Joe Biden will pack the Supreme Court?
The Supreme Court is supposed to be a nonpartisan body. That's a fact, like gravity and creationism. It's what the founders wanted, and it's exactly why I've shoved as many conservatives in there as I can, like the time I shoved all those babies into a box and threw it into the river for sexual gratification.
Any other ways you intend to fuck up the country?
Well, you know, in many ways, the work of a demon is easy. We risk very little, yet enjoy a position over those who have absolutely no power of their own. We thrive on a diet of negative criticism, sulfurous oxide, and racist Facebook comments, which are fun to write and to read.
Hey, you're a dick.
All right now.
Alt-right indeed. Back to you, Alex.
The idea of court packing has been tossed around more than an unwanted baby at a volleyball tournament. But what does it mean to pack the court?
Court packing was an idea originally coined by 32nd President and world-renowned speed-walking champion Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Frustrated with the conservative majority overturning his New Deal policies, FDR created a plan that would require a new justice for every justice over the age of 70, essentially stuffing the bra of the judicial branch from a perfectly sensible 9 justices to a pair of honking bazoingos. 15.
But that's also not fair.
Well, like wearing assless chaps to a funeral, there are pros and cons. Meredith, what does the Constitution say about the court?
The Constitution, that parchment tampon politicians have been shoving up their hemorrhoidal rumps since 1776, says this about the justices on the Supreme Court. Nothing.
Wait, really?
Sure as shit. The Constitution only says that there is to be a Supreme Court, that justices are selected by the President, and that they're then confirmed by the Senate for a lifelong appointment of joy, merriment, and listening to Kavanaugh rip ass during oral argument while chugging a Hams. It says nothing about how many justices should be on the court, and that's partially by design.
Throughout the 1800s, the number of justices fluctuated from as low as 5 to as many as 10, either to reflect the growth of the country, make a political play, or in the case of President Ulysses S. Grant, just because he's so damn sexy.
The main problem, though, just like trashy tattoos, once you get one, you're gonna get a bunch. If a President Biden appointed 2 more justices to the court, yes, things would be more ideologically balanced. But then what's to stop a President Ted Cruz from appointing 2 more, bringing us to a lucky number 13? Though if Ted Cruz is president, we'll all probably be busy defending ourselves from locusts and frogs by slathering lamb's blood on our front doors so spooky ghosties don't come and kill our firstborn sons. Or, as Ted Cruz calls it, date night. Other ideas include imposing term limits on justices, which would require a constitutional amendment, or just torching the whole place for the insurance and letting Canada take over. So, what's the way forward? First, we gotta change our thinking.
The Supreme Court isn't a legislative body, which means that A, much like Bella Thorne, it isn't allowed outside after sundown, and 2, it can't make laws, only overturn or affirm them.
Basically, the Supreme Court can't wake up tomorrow and decide that it is my right to have the entirety of Liza Minnelli's phone number. It can, however, in a court case I am currently filing, either affirm Liza's right to privacy or deny my right to meet the greatest person on the planet, and yes, I am including Betty White. So, while the Supreme Court currently has a 6-3 conservative majority, that doesn't necessarily mean it will decide conservative 100% of the time. Just like a 13-year-old choosing an iPhone, it depends on the case. Second, get your rights and get them now.
The court system makes decisions based on a multitude of factors, including the Constitution, the law, positioning of the moon in relation to Mars, and the specifics of each case.
So while I can't change the fact that I deserve Liza's phone number because I've watched Cabaret so many times Google sent me a cease and desist letter, I can encourage my representatives to change the law. Currently, there is no national law affirming your right to have access to contraceptives or to marry anyone you love. Partially because human rights are apparently subjective now, but also because we often don't know how good we have it until the Supreme Court takes it away in the name of religious freedom.
Linked in the description is a site where you can find your state, local, and federal representatives. See what bills they've sponsored and contribute to, along with their contact information.
Does Liza come up?
Is she your representative?
Representative of my heart. Finally, donate. And more importantly, volunteer. Because if you have a right, there's an org for that.
All across the country are scores of organizations and legal networks fighting to protect and affirm the rights of marginalized groups. In the description, we've linked 4 organizations fighting for causes important to us. But please, do your own research. While democracy is a group project, we will all be graded individually.
So per usual, get informed, get angry, and get loud. 2020 is almost done, but the fight sure isn't. Thanks for watching. If you liked what you've seen, please like and share this video so your relatives have something new to hate online.